This is Ezekiel 39, verse 23. And the heathen shall know that the house of Israel went into captivity for their iniquity. What race of people went into captivity? Because they trespassed against me. We broke the commandments. Therefore hid I my face from them, and gave them into the hand of their enemies. So fell they all by the sword. See, the other nations know that in order to keep you blacks and Hispanics, you Native Americans on the bottom, they have to keep you in sin. That's why they taught the pastor to teach you that the commandments are done away with, that we under grace, teach them how to do Christmas and Thanksgiving, Easter. These are all sins according to the Most High. When you don't keep Passover and you keep Easter, you're in sin. As a people, that's why we still on the bottom. That's why we still see our brothers being shot by the police. We're still in the hood, in the ghettos. That's why you see us on TV. Our sisters are naked. Our brothers are wearing dresses now. This is why, because of our sin. And it's only going to get worse. This is the book of Judith in the Apocrypha. Then was it declared to Holofernes, the chief captain of the army of Assur, that the children of Israel had prepared for war, and had shut up the passages of the hill country, and had fortified all the tops of the high hills, and had laid impediments in the champion countries. See, the children of Israel, we were a warring nation. We were always going to battle against the other nations. And now it's like we become docile. We become what do you call it? We become indoctrinated. That's the word I was looking for. We've assimilated into their culture, Verse 2, wherewith he was very angry, and called all the princes of Moab, the Chinese people, and the captains of Ammon, the Japanese, and all the governors of the sea coast. And he said unto them, tell me now, ye sons of Canaan, who this people is that dwelleth in the hill country, and what are the cities that they inhabit? And what is the multitude of their army? See, the heathen always want to know what numbers we have. And wherein is their power and strength? And what king is set over them, or captain of their army? And why have they determined not to come and meet me? See, the heathen always want to know, if we don't serve them, we're not in their militaries. They want to know, why is this people separate from us? They want to keep us assimilated. And why have they determined not to come and meet me? More than all the inhabitants of the west. Then said Achor, the captain of all the sons of Ammon, let my Lord hear a word from the mouth of thy servant. Listen to this. And I will declare unto thee the truth concerning this people which dwelleth near thee, and inhabit the hill country, and there shall no lie come out of the mouth of thy servant. This people are descended of the Chaldeans, and they are sojourned heretofore in Mesopotamia, because they would not follow the gods of their fathers, which were in the land of Chaldea. For they left the way of their ancestors and worshiped the God of heaven and God whom they knew. So they cast them out from the face of their gods. See, when we worship other gods, we fall. It's like our kryptonite. And they fled into Mesopotamia and sojourned there many days. Then their God commanded them to depart from the place where they sojourned, and to go into the land of Canaan, where they dwelt, and were increased with gold and silver, and with very much cattle. But when a famine covered all the land of Canaan, they went down into Egypt, and sojourned there, while they were nourished, and became there a great multitude. That's when we were in slavery in Egypt, so that one could not number their nation. Therefore the king of Egypt rose up against them and dealt subtly with them, and bought them low, just like we're low now in America and all these other countries that we serve captivity, with a laboring in brick, and made them slaves. Then they cried to their God. Listen to this. This is when we started to repent. Then they cried to their God, and he smote all the land of Egypt with incurable plagues, so that the Egyptians cast them out from their sight. It's going to happen again. And God dried the Red Sea before them, and brought them to Mount Sinai, and Casbarn, and cast forth all that dwelt in the wilderness. It's verse 16. And they cast forth before them the Canaanite, and the Perizzite, and the Jebusite, and the Shemite, and all the Girgashites, and they dwelt in that country many days. See, now our God's fighting for us. We driving all these nations out before us. Verse 17. And whilst they sinned not before their God, they prospered, because the God had iniquity. That had iniquity was with them. But when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles, very sore, and were led captives into a land that was not theirs. See that? When we sin, we fall. I'm going to jump down to verse 19. But now are they returned to their God, and are come up from the places where they were scattered, and have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is, and are seated in the hill country, for it was desolate. Listen, now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error in this people, and they sin against their God, let us consider that this shall be their ruin, and let us go up, and we shall overcome them. But if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them, and their God be for them, and we become a reproach before all the world. See that? It's simple. It's simple. If we keep the commandments and we don't sin, we put away all these pagan gods and pagan holidays, we're going to prosper. That's simple. It's plain and simple. Iniquity, sin is kryptonite to the Israelite man and woman. But as long as we keep these commandments, then God will defend his people. It's simple. Repent.